Sharon Radio, delivering trusted business and financial intelligence. Good morning and welcome to Sharon Business Radio, the voice of the economy. I am Billy Ongo. In Nigeria, the central bank's governor Olayemi Kadusu says interest rates will ease over time as ongoing economic reforms begin to take full effect. He expressed optimism that improved financial conditions will encourage banks to increase lending to small and medium enterprises. Speaking at the African Emerging Markets Forum in Abuja, Cardoso acknowledged that current borrowing costs remain high, but described them as a temporary outcome of efforts to stabilize the economy. He noted that while exchange rates have begun to stabilize, interest rates are expected to gradually decline as reforms deepened. The CBN governor highlighted ongoing measures to strengthen development finance institutions and improve access to credit, particularly for small businesses. He also pointed to the banking sector recapitalization as a key factor that will boost liquidity and drive lending to the real sector. Cardoso added that the Apex Bank is shifting away from intervention lending and returning to more conventional monetary policy, a move he says will support long-term economic stability and sustainable growth. He assured stakeholders that despite current challenges, the outlook remains positive, with expectations that access to finance will improve and interest rates will moderate in the near future. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has urged Nigeria to sustain its economic reforms while exercising caution in debt management. She emphasized the need for policies that will create jobs and ensure that citizens feel the real impact of ongoing reforms. Speaking at the Africa Energy Market Forum in Abuja, Okonjo-Iweala commended recent monetary and foreign exchange reforms but stressed the importance of fiscal discipline. She noted that Nigeria must prioritize job creation for its growing population and translate reforms into tangible economic benefits. She also highlighted opportunities for Africa in global trade, noting that despite global uncertainties, trade remains resilient. She urged African countries to move beyond exporting raw materials and instead develop value chains that drive productivity and industrial growth. Also speaking, Central Bank Governor Olayemi Cardoso called on African economies to turn global disruption into opportunities through stronger institutions, regional integration, and increased investment in technology. He stressed the need to boost intra-African trade and leverage domestic resources to finance development. Cardoso further noted that Nigeria's ongoing reforms, including foreign exchange market unification and improved transparency, are beginning to yield results with stronger external reserves and improved investor confidence. Experts at the forum also highlighted the potential of artificial intelligence for developing economies, urging countries like Nigeria to focus on practical applications in sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, and education. Businessman Femi Otedola has acquired an additional 1.779 billion shares in First Holdco, the parent company of First Bank, in a deal valued at approximately 222.2 billion naira. The shares were purchased through his investment company, Cavados Global Services Limited, at 124 naira 90 kobo per share, according to a disclosure filed with the Nigeria Exchange. This latest acquisition increases Otedola's direct shareholdings from 9.99 billion shares to 11.77 billion shares. When combined with his indirect holdings, his total stake in First Holdco has now risen from 21.96% to about 26%, further strengthening his position as the company's largest shareholder. The purchase comes just days after he acquired 706.13 million shares, worth 77.58 billion naira on July 22, 2026, marking its second major investment in the financial group this month. With this transaction, Otedolar's total investment in First Holdco is now estimated at 1.47 trillion naira, the largest stake held by any investor in the institution. The move further consolidates his influence in one of the Nigeria's leading financial services groups and signals strong confidence in the company's long-term growth prospects. And on global business news, Indian stocks are witnessing a strong rebound led by software exporters as global investors shift away from crowded AI-linked markets and turn to alternatives with less exposure to the sector. After underperforming Asian and emerging markets in 2025 and early 2026 due to limited AI-related listings, India is now benefiting from a global pullback in technology shares. Markets in South Korea and Taiwan have been hit hard, prompting investors to redirect funds. Market analysts say there has been a significant sector rotation in recent weeks, with India emerging as a key destination for investors, reducing their exposure to US and North Asia tech stocks. Supportive measures by India's central bank to stabilize the rupee have also strengthened investor confidence. The impact is already visible in market performance. India's Nifty IT index surged by over 16% in July, while the US semiconductor index dropped sharply. Broader markets also showed resilience, with the Nifty 50 posting gains, in contrast to declines in other major Asian indices. Global investment firms, including HSBC and UBS, have upgraded their outlook on India, citing improving earnings and attractive valuation across sectors such as financials, healthcare, and industrials. Foreign investor sentiment is also turning positive, with over $1.6 billion flowing into Indian equities in July, a notable recovery after heavy outflows earlier in the year. Analysts say the sustainability of this momentum will depend on stronger corporate earnings and easing global geopolitical tensions. However, projections remain optimistic, with expectations that India could maintain steady growth and deliver a strong performance in the second half of the year. And that is your business update on Sharon Business Radio. For more updates on business, finance, and economy, follow us on TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sharon Business Radio. I am Billy Umogo. Thank you for listening and do have a lovely weekend. Sharon Business Radio, the voice of the economy. Enjoy.